Hi, Dr. McLean. This is Stacy Starnes in the Spiritual Formations for Counseling class, and I've decided to try this YouTube video to talk about the time I was able to spend out in nature the other day. And when I first read the assignment, I thought, where should I go? And I thought about a few different places that I have known through the years, but there's usually other people there. And so I just decided to get in the car and just let God lead me wherever He felt I needed to go. And so I jumped in the car and I just started driving. And I ended up driving north of Boise, Idaho. That's where I live, into a small town called Emmett that is famous for their cherries. And I started driving up towards the reservoir and I saw this beautiful bridge and there was a parking lot next to it. And so I got out and I walked down and it was absolutely pristine. It was basically a sandy beach right on the Payette River, and right above me was a huge tree, and in it were a bunch of blue herons, and there was nobody. And so I sat down and I started to pray and enjoy my solitude. The attributes of God that initially came to my mind were that I am loved and that I am not alone and that the Lord knows me and what is going on in my life and the things that are weighing heavily upon my heart as of recently. And I felt so much gratitude for that because it's been a rough few months, and it was so nice to just sit down and not think about anything and just be in this moment. And so, yeah, those were the initial thoughts about God that came to my mind, that He's all-knowing, all-loving, and He cares about me. The works of God that I focused on were basically the fact that I just knew of His goodness, and I knew of His ability to speak to us if we can shut the noise out for a little while. I know that God works in mysterious ways, and I know that there have been many things that have happened recently that have shown me of His love for me through others, through things that are just not coincidental either. And so I was grateful for that moment of time where I could think back a little bit and reflect on those times where I have seen those tender mercies in my life. That's what I like to call them, tender mercies. The aspects of my relationship with God that I wanted to focus on, I think first and foremost, I was trying to focus on the word trust. I thought about Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, where it talks about trusting the Lord with all your heart and leaning not into your own understanding. And I think trust is key. Trust is key in everything around us. It's important in our relationships. It's important with our children. It's important in our marriages. It's important as future counselors that we are able to build trust with those people that we're trying to help. And so I think as we can build that trust with our clients, we can also then rely on faith that the Lord will help us and guide us to do the things that we need to do that will be the most effective moving forward. Personal characteristic that I wanted to improve was definitely forgiveness. I am currently in a very difficult situation in my life. The last 3 months have been really challenging for me. I'm dealing with a ton of marital issues. I have a husband who's been lying about big things and small things, and he is telling me that he doesn't believe in God anymore and that he's angry if there is a God. And anyway, it's just been a lot for me to take on and try to process and figure out. So I thought a lot about forgiveness and about being patient and long-suffering. I thought about some of the things that maybe I could do in the here and now, like showing him more love. I even considered cutting all social media out of my life so that I could just focus on the things that matter most. And I mean, moving into the next question of with regards to your relationship, what did you pray over? I mean, that is what I spent the majority of my time praying over, is my relationship with my husband, because this is the worst place we've ever been. And it's really, really scary. When I looked around in the beautiful area of the world that I was in, and I was contemplating just the beauty of the earth and how amazing it is that God created this for us to enjoy, I started to think about how all of that must have been done in such order and with organization. And so I started thinking about some of the things that I could do in my own life as far as organizing and maybe prioritizing things that I'm not, including making time for myself, making sure that I'm spending time reading scripture, making sure that I'm taking care of my children. And I think if I do those things, whatever will happen in my relationship will be, and I will be okay either way. I think this relationship, is one of my greatest challenges in life right now. But I was thinking about how grateful I am for the challenges that come, even though they're horribly uncomfortable, and I wouldn't wish these things upon anyone. I know that it's through those experiences that we learn and we grow and we gain that true empathy that can help as future counselors. I think about, if I'm going to be helping someone, I need to know what it feels like to be in this much pain and agony. I will be able to be more of a light to them, because if I've made it through the darkness, I can turn around and shine that light to someone else and help them find their way. I was grateful for this experience, particularly because of the timing in my life right now. I needed to just shut everything off and just listen and let God tell me the things that I needed to hear. One quote that I really liked from The Way of the Heart was, "Unceasing prayer gives solitude and silence their real meaning. In unceasing prayer, we descend with the mind into the heart." And that's what I love so much about silence, is we can descend from here and move down here, where we can actually feel that inspiration to know what we need to do next and, what God would have us do, what the next right thing to do is. And I think this experience moving forward was very profound. I hope that I will remember this and that I will encourage future clients to take the time. And if it's not to commune with God, maybe it's just a quiet self-reflection time, or a time to just sort through all of the mess up in your brain, all of the craziness, all of the chaos, and just calm it down and maybe take a few moments to see the problem for what it really is and consider all of your options and weigh the consequences. And so that is my experience. I really, really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this class because I feel like a lot of these assignments have really connected with my personal life right now, and it's been an answer to my prayer. So thank you for your time and have a great night.